And we are live. And we are live. And we are live. And we are live. Hello, I'm just barely on time. Hello. How is everyone doing? I hope we're all okay. 2 seconds later, saying, no, don't say that. Hello. On time for once. Oh, my heart. I'm on time every time. I arrive precisely when I'm meant to be. There. Hello everyone. I hope you are having an excellent evening or morning or afternoon, whatever time you happen to be staying in. Not able to hear me. That's been unfortunate. Everything seems to be working. I'm not quite sure. Oh, now I can hear. Okay. Yeah, no, I double-checked the mic because it's been 2 weeks, so I was worried that everything had reset to something else. So I was double-checking before the start, and I don't know what I could have done if the mic was still not working after the check. Sure, all right, Gandalf. Exactly. I am just like Gandalf. If you, don't think about it too hard. Okay. Hello. Let's see. If you are not on the Patreon, if you're a bit confused as to why this video is called Let's Do It Again, well, this stream is called Let's Do It Again, there was a bit of an incident a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago to be exact, where I was working on the art for the next video, and there was a very tragic situation. I'm not entirely sure to this day, right now, I do not know what exactly happened. I was working on my tablet. It was like 6 p.m. on a Friday. I was carrying on as usual. I stand up, I go. I don't think I was making dinner. It was a shorter trip. I come back after like 15-20 minutes, and the entire PC is not working. So everything has frozen except for Photoshop. And that kind of freaked me out. So I went, okay, let's be safe. Since Photoshop is the only thing I can interact with right now and something's clearly gone catastrophically wrong, I'm going to save my file, and then I am going to close Photoshop separately, and then I am going to shut down and restart my PC. And then when I came back, the Photoshop file that I had been doing all of the art on for the new video was completely corrupted. I lost everything, which was a bit of a blow. It was about 4 days worth of work that I had just done that week. I was kind of in the final stretch of it, so it was a bit of an emotional blow. But yeah, it was very strange. Also, my workspace got reset, all the temp files were wiped, my brushes were still there as presets, but not my actions, not my color palettes. I for some reason, stuff just really got jumbled around. It was reset, but not completely reset and wiped. So yeah, hope you save every 10 minutes. So what we are working on tonight is Doodles number 7, which is, it's called that because there are 6 more backups. I've been making a new save file, a new Photoshop file every 10 illustrations. So we're going to be continuing that on today. I think best case scenario within the time that we have, I'm hoping we'll be able to get about 10 done. I think that's a pretty optimistic goal, but I think if I really put my nose to the grindstone, we can get it done. We love Adobe products. Adobe products never have problems. It was very strange. Adobe has temp files, it has backups. If you enable certain settings on it, which for some reason I believe they weren't automatically enabled when I first got Photoshop set up on my computer, you should be able to retrieve a version, an older version. There should be an autosave system in place that saves every 10 minutes. But because of the way that it crashed and everything that happened, everything was wiped. So nothing was retrievable, and then the original Photoshop file was completely gone. So it's okay. It's fine. I have grieved, and I am optimistic about this the stage of grief that I'm in. I think I'm at acceptance, but we'll see. Yeah, no, and thank you to everyone on the Discord, especially fantastic name to say out loud, that sexy walrus, for helping me sort of run through a checklist of like ways we could have solved it, ways we could have fixed it. Unfortunately, that did not really amount to much, but it was absolutely worth the try, because I mean, I've now spent this week getting back to where we were originally with the with the images. So we kind of haven't lost time, but we kind of have lost a lot of time, which is a little bit sad, but it's okay. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing this stream. I also want to very tentatively say that this might be a shorter stream than usual. I do apologize. I've had a little bit of a bit of an interesting week. I'm kind of suffering from a very, very light sickness, but like there's been a cold front that's come in. Everyone I know is getting sick. Everyone's feeling a bit under the weather, and I've been feeling very low energy the whole of today. And I do sort of have like a very, very light it's either a very early onset flu or it's like a lung infection. It's fine. I'm okay. It's being treated. But I'm not entirely sure how my stamina is gonna fare this stream, because it is quite late in the evening for me. So I am letting you know ahead of time. I'm going to try and aim for the usual 3 hours, but we might have to call it a little bit early at 2. I will keep a gauge on how I am feeling and how I'm doing. I have my cup of tea here. I have a good big glass of water here. I am going to be taking it slow, taking lots of breaks, but also trying to do 10 illustrations. So we're going to see how that goes. Twinning, hey! Oh no. Yeah, it's that time of the year. Apparently, it's also happening in Australia a little bit, where people I know, they are also not doing fantastic. Cold front in the southern hemisphere. Indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you for understanding, guys. You always are very understanding, but I do feel bad. I feel like maybe this is the 3rd time this year that I've done this, and I don't know. That's too many. I gotta at least try and keep up consistent stream lengths. Anyway. There's been some cold winds here too. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It went down here in Brazil, yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm okay. Honestly, the only thing that's different is that I just feel a little bit like under the weather. I just don't have that much energy. That's kind of just the only like real problem that I have. But it's fine, because despite that, I have had an extremely productive week. So I'm actually not too upset about that. Yeah, I wanna kind of do justice to the claim I made at the start of the year, and I said this is the year of a mortal. So I'm kind of doing my best to honor that, yeah, won't say anything now, but yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah. So without further ado, let me make a quick save. Where are you saving the new files you made? I have to save them locally. I cannot, for complicated reasons, I cannot save them to the cloud. So they are saved locally, but I've never had an issue where I've had locally saved different Photoshop files die on me. It just screw up completely. I knock on wood. I hope it stays that way. Nay. We're all trying our best. Yeah, we are. Everyone always is, and that's something to be admired, for sure. Have a pen drive, like a spy, like a criminal. I don't know why I'm saying that. That's just not the case at all. Let's see. So, we're going to be doing our very best to avoid some spoilers. Oh, I can just do this. There we go. I just need to take a cheeky little color save. You'd think I'd have this saved as one of my color swatches, but it has been literal years, and I open up the same template document that I have all of Tala. I have all of the videos, presets and stuff on a single document that I then just like reopen and close. It really should be a swatch. Anyways, it's not. I'm a professional. Pen drive? No, pen right. Ah, perfect, perfect. You're the greatest criminal of all, an artist. Yes, yes! Steal like an artist, but not like ChatGPT. There's a very significant difference between the two of those. Pen right? Yeah, I sure hope it does. Oh no, okay. Let's get ourselves started. So, this one is going to be an example image. Are we, yeah, smoothing. Photoshop's been a bit weird ever since the crash happened as well. As soon as the crash happened, because Photoshop doesn't have permission through Creative Cloud to update automatically, because I was trying to prevent that kind of problem where it crashes mid-save or mid-update trying to do some insane garbage, because that is something that's happened to me before. So it doesn't have permission to update on its own. I don't know what happened. I don't know if this was it trying to update itself and then realizing it wasn't allowed to. I don't know what happened. But I have many theories and they're probably all incorrect because I do not know. But yeah, so it doesn't have permission to. I updated it immediately after the crash and everything happened. I was like, you know what, might as well happen. Maybe this is why it crashed so spectacularly, is because it's not like up to date with everything. So it's now fully up to date, but now it's clunky. You know, it's more frustrating to use now, and I don't know if it's maybe just me being frustrated with the whole program as a whole and just having a much shorter temperament with it, or if it's actually gotten worse, because I'll have like you know, it'll like tell me I can't do something and I'll like freak out. What are you talking about? You I don't know, it'll probably happen to stream and I'll bring it up. Ben left and be upset at, oh no. Anyway, so let me calm down actually. I feel like you'd love Procreate if you had an iPad. It practically never crashes. I've always wanted to get Procreate, or not always, but in the last couple of years I really have wanted to. The big barrier for entry for that is then I have to buy an iPad. And that's kind of like, it's the kind of frivolous expense that I can't really justify unless I really know that I'll use Procreate like all the time. And if I just end up not using it all the time, it'll feel like such a waste of money. I could maybe get a secondhand one and give it a shot. That might be an idea. But yeah, that's kind of the reason I haven't gotten or even tried Procreate yet. Which is a bit of a shame because I always see it online. It always seems very handy. Let's see. Okay, so we're building a setting as an example of a Paleolithic society on the edge of water. It's going to be very simple. I can't put too much time into all of these. So we're 15 minutes in. We want to get a bunch of these done in a quick amount of time. You'll see a lot of these ones I've been sort of speeding through. These are a lot of like reused images that I've kind of just been cycling through over and over again just for illustrative examples. Yeah, I have a very... Yeah, I've started. These are the ones that you can see the line art is much looser for these as well. They're very, the second time round, like the first ones were a bit cleaner. The second time round, as long as you can tell what's happening in the image, I think that's fine. And it let me go pretty damn quickly, so it might be the way that I go making the art moving forward. Because ultimately, when it comes to making the, you know, I call them mainline videos, but that's probably not the correct term for them, but it's, when it comes to making the big videos, I have a tendency to obsess over the art a little bit too much, and then it becomes the most time-consuming thing of the entire project. So the things that take the absolute longest for all the videos are the scripts and the art, and if I can cut down on the art time, that would be quite good, ultimately, for the channel. You know, I don't know how much longer I can get away with only uploading like 2 times a year. What are the drawings for? Yes, Arsenal and Your Honor. It's a... this is for the next video that's going to be coming out on the channel. So we're going to be doing a couple logs. And the point is to emphasize that the settlement is still quite a way away from vegetation. So it's been built on this sort of rocky beach on the edge of this river. So there's not much in the way of any foliage whatsoever. It's all just barren, 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 barren. Which I feel like that would hurt your feet, but it is historically accurate as far as I understand it. And the reason for it is because it is much better for your environment if you settle down far away from any of the resources you really need. So you want to be close enough where they're in easy access, but you don't want to be so close that you're on top of them, because then you're going to degrade that resource over time, right? Yeah, sneak peek, exactly, see? We have fun here. If you want to cut down on the art time, there's this thing called Gen AI that can gunshot. I got him. Is this where Tala meets her rock buddy Rocky? Oh, you know what? Rocky. I still have my little crocheted Rocky. Yes, I do. There you go. A little guest star Rocky, if you will. I hope you guys noticed the other guest star that we're having on this video as well. I'll give you a minute. Did you see the guest star? Okay, I think that's fairly decent. Oh, I could zoom out a bit. Maybe that would be better, yeah. And then show a little bit more of the rocks on the other side as well, so it doesn't, you can't just imagine like a tree line, like a tree line right there, you know? So let's go like that, and we've got something like that. We all are the guest star. Where is Giorgio? Giorgio is lurking. Like I said, we've all been hit with the plague this week. Jerry? No, not Jerry. Come now, you've seen him already. I guess it was a really long time ago that you saw him, so I can't blame you for not recognizing. Okay, let's get to it. Top left. Not quite, but no. That's the wild god. It is the wild god, yes. Okay, so let's see. We've got a dead tree hanging around here, proving that absolutely nothing can grow in this rocky hellscape we've made. Let's not get too messy with it now, though. We do want to still be able to see what it is we're looking at. Let's put the smoothing up so that it forces me to slow down a bit. Okay. She wants to draw a hand and an arm in 1 second. Is technical difficulties the guest star? I sure hope not. Alright, guys. It's our guest star. It's a little caveman. He showed up that one time in the Lithic video. I can't believe you guys didn't recognize him. He's gonna be so upset. I can't blame you. I can't blame you. It's been a while since that video came out. Or thinks he's taller. The caveman from Rock video. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I thought it would be more fun to see. Oh well. Nah, it's okay. This video is a little bit more in line with the Lithic video in terms of it being more drawn from history, being quite a bit more I wouldn't say wooden in its facts. There's less world building, more history to it, right? So it made sense to have them there. Okay, that seems fine. Right here, there you go. A maze, a maze, a maze. Let's make you a little rounder. Bro's gonna die in the comics, isn't he? Technically, he's non-canon. He kind of just exists in the videos for now. His name is John Caveman. Don't answer TCA. Right. TC, I'm afraid I cannot answer that. Follow your heart. I know I sure do. Okay, I'm putting too much detail into it now. And we're getting messy again. It's fine, don't worry about it. Ah, got it. I vote we name the rock guy Grace. Grace and Rocky, together again. They'll find each other in every universe. Messi, nah, I prefer Ronaldo. Right. Huh. Okay, and then we can cheat a little bit by just adding bushes. And then I've made very simplistic tents for the settlement, despite the fact that they technically should be here rather in the long term. But I was thinking more along the lines of teepees, which can also be placed down for longer periods of time. Also, I didn't want to think too hard about it, so bit unfortunate. We're doing quick maths. Ah! Hi, M Creeper. Thank you very, very much for that. I freaking love eating lead. I know it's not good for me, but it's so good. Thank you. Excellent to know. Thank you very, very much, as always. You are extremely immortal. $1 billion. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. It's sweet, the lead. My god. A new generation of Mad Hatters. It's so beautiful to see. Let's see. And we just gotta... give a bit of details around the base, and then let that sort of off into nothing. See, so these are the ones that I kind of left to last, because they are the most complex. The ones that require the most detail, right? Like, I can sometimes just I can just sort of get away with like, hey, this is the guide, quick doodle, that took me about 20 minutes to do. These gonna take me a little longer. So, bit oh, hello. Ah, see what I mean? When did I switch pins? Did I just like fat finger the keyboard, or did something go terribly wrong on Photoshop? I don't know. The beauty of the programs that you use just never quite working well enough for you to know if it's a you problem or a them problem. Maybe if I complain about it big enough, if I complain about it long enough, my immense influence as a very small baby YouTuber will let them change their ways, show them the harm that they're doing to their community. I can dream. The ghost of the corrupted files. Don't say that. Causing me to paranoid save every 2 seconds. Okay, and then we're just gonna start breaking things down as we go more into the background. We're just gonna do some more generic shapes. The nice thing is that the shading is gonna do most of the work to get that silhouette for us. We don't really have to worry too much about it. Every new video I make, I do try and push a little bit further into like making the art look a little bit nicer, everything look a little bit neater. Not this time. No, not this time. This time we're just gonna do what works. In fact, maybe I should be doing that all the time. One of my best videos to this day is still the first one I ever made, which is the map video. And it regularly tops like #1 in like my monthly viewed videos. And I think the art in that one is awful. Because I really did just go into it with the mentality of like, hey, this is a fun little thing to do. I've never made a YouTube video before. Aside from like a Minecraft Let's Play when I was 10. Like everyone did. Don't pretend you didn't. Please tell me you. And okay, not 10. 10's too early, but you know what I mean. And I I just really didn't try with the art for that. I was like, it's fine. As long as they can tell the general shape of what I'm doing, it's good, it's fine, it doesn't matter. And then it just became a really big video and kind of like the best first video I could have ever made. Like nothing's topped it so far, so it's pretty sick. But now I have to never ever look at it ever again because I will see the art in it and I will want to die. Such is life. I'd never make a Minecraft Let's Play, especially not at 12 years old. That's a very specific thing to say. Please, I was 9, not 10. Okay, and then we're just going to have our obligatory little fire in the center. And we're just going to do a little... Should I do lines for the... I can do that with shading. I just need to remember to do it with shading. I feel like if I... it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. In fact, I should actually be erasing some to make it a little bit less. Yeah, good enough. Okay, and we do the shading. Nope. No, okay. Sorry, that's moved locations. Or maybe it hasn't and I'm just done. It's fine. Oh, I forgot. Just so you know, it's water. We gotta have some little ripples on the edge. It's not my best attempt at water. I sure hope at least a couple of you know what it is. Just at a glance, I mean. It's fine. As long as it's workable, it is fine. Let's go for 30 because we want a pretty big brush, and then we're going to stick to 25% opacity so that it's a nice simple color. And then I see this quite similarly to tea staining on old documents. And then, because that's the focus of the image, we want the campsite to be quite pale and to have a bit of a silhouette to it. This is something you see a lot in manga, where they do just give it a little bit of a space around the image to make it pop. And like that. Okay, and then the way I do it for the videos is that I keep it on 25 opacity and then I just keep blending it in until we have good, proper shading. Okay, very quick, very skittish. I keep saying very sketchy to describe this kind of style and art, but like, sketchy means something else. So I'm trying to not say it as much, but like in my head, this is what it means when I say sketchy. Like, it's sketchy. It's like it's rough. It's unfinished. It's a little bit ugly. And then we just want to add some highlights with the eraser. Makes it really pop. And I wonder if this will... Yeah, there we go. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of shading on the sides, so that it still looks like it's existing within the image, right? Very sketchy, very clumsy, but like hopefully with the script and with, you know, me speaking over it, you can at least get the impression of what it is that I'm describing and what it is that I'm saying. Okay, so that's image 61. This is one of the videos that uses a little bit more art than usual. I think the last video that I did for the phenotypes... Okay, no, that's not a fair comparison because I did a lot of like more polished color illustrations for the phenotypes. But the like simple rough doodles, I think I only had about 40 of them. It's rough, it's a little bit ugly, you don't need to call me out, Hannah. Oh! Oi, okay. That's the end of my tea. Let's see. It's because they were kenny away that settling on top of their resources to grade them through their presence alone. Yeah, okay, so next one. And we've got to turn off the smoothing for this. Don't go up 6 more numbers, the Gen Alphas will be summoned. Yes! Okay, new goal for the stream, I have to get to the funny number. The Gen Alpha number. If I'm lucky, I can get to both of the funny numbers. Okay. Okay, so this one is... We're illustrating the exact same point, but with a second illustration. And this one's got a guy in it. There he is. Look at him go. He's sitting on the edge of the water. He's crouched, hunched over. He's got his arms in front of him. I drew him quite old the first time round, and I think I'll probably stick with that just because it's a rather... not gross, but it's a... what would you call it? Realistic depiction of life, waste management, and such. Hang on. Okay, he's got his arm up, he's tossing something behind him. There we go. First time around, I also drew him with a bit more detail. I wanted these later, more detailed illustrations at the very end to have a little bit more kind of detail in the face. So I gave them noses, I gave them expressions, I gave them big bushy eyebrows, but alas, we lost. So now I think I may just make them simple again. Okay. Okay, so we got that. Not quite sure what expression I want him to have. I'm sure I will know once we get to the rough, to the final. Well, it'll still look rough, but it'll be a final. Let's have him look more involved with his hand down. I've completely, like, I remember the vague image, but I quite forgotten exactly what I had him doing. Okay. Okay. And we've got ribcage meat sitting on animal skin. Okay, which means the water has to now be over here. That's a bit too far forward for it to be. That's not quite the right place for it to be, is what I was saying. And we've got a massive pile of bones, and A very badly drawn skull. Okay, so we're just gonna have a bunch of bones. Just a lot of texturing, and we're gonna have a couple bones lying around like that. And then we have all the stones everywhere, and then of course we have our trees in the distance. Which maybe I don't have to put as much work into as I did for the last one. I can maybe get away with... Yes. Just a very generic silhouette. Yes, arcing over like that. Perfect. Yeah, that seems fine. And then same thing with the cheats, with the bushes in the foreground. Perfect. Okay, so got our golden oldie here. Let's change pen. Cartoon crocodile skull. Exactly, exactly. That's the kind of stuff I can get away with the styles, that I can just make it all goofy and cartoony. It's like I'm cheating. This isn't real art at all. There we go. You gotta have a little downturn on either side of the mouth, otherwise it looks like he's smiling. It's not that he's grumpy or an unpleasant person, it's just that he's doing a job. There's just something that needs to be done. There we go. Then we have the... It's like when you just have to pull apart a chicken that you get at the grocery store. Which is a very convenient way to get a whole roasted chicken for sandwiches. And is something I've done before. I too am like a caveman in many ways. Yeah, let's make that more obviously meat. Maybe that's not it. I don't know. What are YouTube's guidelines on this sort of stuff, actually, now that I know. Now that I'm wondering about it. I think I can hide pretty neatly behind the for educational purposes excuse, but we shall have to see. It's not that bad. I don't think they'll even have an issue. I don't think they'll even know what we're looking at. It looks like an alien creature. What's the theme of the new video? Foraging and economics. Which is a hell of a topic. It's a fun thing. It's an interesting angle at like foraging and the history of like that kind of thing. But it's very different from a video I made quite a long time ago, one of my first videos, that kind of covered like the same sort of general topic of foraging. It's a very different approach to it, so I do hope people like it. And by people, I mean you guys. I hope you guys like it specifically. Yeah. Okay, and it's on an animal skin, so we don't have to get that much much definition. Okay. Right, okay. There are plenty of videos that explain how to dress a deer. Yeah. Kind of sounds like the title of a scientific paper to me. Yeah, no, I don't think YouTube's gonna have... I mean, listen, if YouTube lets you play, like, video games and put that online, I really don't think this is gonna be a problem. In fact, if we lived in a world where this was a problem, I'd be a bit concerned. Okay. It's fine, it's bearable, it's lookable, it's fine, don't worry about it. Okay. I've also been doing quite a bit more work into figuring out exactly how I want the process of cooking and such to work for the Nomads in Immortal, which has been a very interesting dive into how boil water. How boil water. There are so many ways to boil water, but what is the most realistic one? And I have it narrowed down to a couple of options, especially depending on like how long they want to boil the water for, the exact like technology they would have had available to them at the time, if they want to cook for, like if they want to boil a lot of water for a lot of people, or if they just need it like very quickly done for a handful. It's a whole process. I didn't think boiling water would be the thing that really that I had to do like a lot of digging into, but it needed to be done because I wanted to do like proper cooking and stuff, and it's kind of one of the things you really like. It's easy to put something on a stick and put it on top of the fire. It's really hard to do anything more complex than that, and that is something that you have to be more complex about if you want to do any kind of like more advanced kinds of cooking other than just like smoking flame grill. Put water in vessel, put on fire, wait. Yeah, pretty much. That's the thing. Clay is a really good option, but stuff like specifically like clay pottery and oh, what's the actual word for it? Like heating up clay to the point where it does set and you are able to use it for you know, something like cooking, and it's extremely like resistant to hot temperatures and stuff like that. That is a younger technology, I should say. So it's not something that they would have had available at the time. In theory, based on what we currently know of the technology of 45,000 years ago. And I have to put like a little caveat at the end of everything I say in that like range of like what we do and don't know that they have, because ultimately we only know that they had stuff if we find evidence for it, right? And I say we, it's not me. It is much cleverer people than me. I scrounge around on the internet and find the things after the fact, and then sometimes Vincent tells me things, and then I learn something new that day. Firing clay, yes, exactly, that thing. So yeah, so firing is a really fascinating technology, because what ultimately all you really need to do is dig a hole, light a fire, put the pottery in there, and then close up the hole. And that is a very doable thing. That is something that you could in theory do all throughout history, right? But we don't have like the sherds, we don't have evidence of them being of pottery past a certain point in time, which I believe is something closer to 20,000 years ago. Don't quote me on that, I could be very wrong. I'm talking off of research that I did like years ago. So I kind of just wrote off pottery to start with when I, started looking into it. The other option is through rock heating, which was also used for clay pottery in order to, create stews, boil water, but that is a much, again, like it's theorized to be a younger technology. But you could still assume that people of the Paleolithic, of the Middle Stone Age, would have been able to do that. That is something that they could in theory have done, have access to stones that were good at being heated up and cooled down quickly, very like stable types of stones, something like I think it's written in a document somewhere, graphite I think is one of them, granite, or no, yes, no, it's one of them. It's a couple of them. I think marble's one of them. And then taking those stones, heating them up over an open flame, or in like directly in the embers of fire, and then you take those stones and you plop them into your clay container that would then heat up and boil. Right? You wouldn't really have it like over the fire, but you could put stones into it, and that would heat it up. And that is something that they found evidence for in Nokobekli Tepe, the city next to it that I talked about last year. It'll come to me, but probably won't anyway. So it's a very fascinating topic, and not one that I feel I fully understand, but I've been doing my best to figure it out in the last like week and a half. There's also not anything technically stopping cavemen from discovering the recipe for black powder. Exactly. I've been doing research on the elder tree, and there is too many things about the elder tree to talk about. You can apparently, right? So I've found very little evidence for this outside of like a couple blogs, but like you can eat the catkins of the specifically the one I'm looking into is the common or black elder. So you can, in theory, eat the catkins from the tree, which come out, they're in the autumn. You can also do a bunch of stuff with the wood. It's a very specific reddish color, so you can use it as a dye. It has lots of tannins, so it makes a very good dye. Historically, Laplanders, I'm not sure if that's the correct term for them nowadays, but that's what the document I read this off said. Would chew the bark and then use a mix of their saliva from chewing the bark to dye hides a darker, sort of like a more fawn, reddish fawn color, which is very interesting. Chapelhuya, yes. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yes. No Becklitz happened. Yeah, Chapelhoyuk? Yeah, I'm sure that's how it was pronounced. Anyway, the Swedes. I think the correct term is Sami, but don't quote me on that. Okay. I mean the Sami people. I'm not sure. I actually have done no research on, or maybe I have, but it's been under the term of, Northern European near, like very early people of the area, but not directly that group of people. It's difficult with history. It's also difficult with my memory. That's also a bit of a roadblock in these sort of things. Oh boy! Back from my store run and now I got snakies. You just got snake? From the store? Impressive! Oh yes, and then in the original image I also had flies. That was a big thing. There we go. They're not that old in Scandinavia. They emigrated from northeastern Europe, I think. Sami is the correct term. Finnish is the name Swedish people use for them. The world is full of many kinds of people, and it's a beautiful thing. I cannot remember the names, but it is a beautiful thing. Essentially what Hannah is saying is all those Northern Europeans look the same to me. Oh. It's okay. The internet doesn't care if you're rude to Northern Europeans. Oh, I really shouldn't say that even as a joke. Okay, anyway. That's some 2085 discourse. Let's see. There's things I dislike about it, but it shall do for now. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, and we go. Yes, 25, and we're turning off the smoothing, because why is that turning on automatically when I switch brushes? That never happened before. Why is that happening now? I need to Google how to stop that from happening. It's very frustrating. Etc, etc, etc. Okay, so we're gonna... I'm doing it all on the wrong layer. There we go. That's not the first time I've done that, and it will not be the last. I'm glad I caught that early. You saw nothing. Still no. Okay, we'll do some shading. That. And do a little bit of shading here just to give a bit of an environment. But we do not have to do too much because it does not really matter. Perfect. And then we're going to leave the bushes with some shading, but we'll color them in just to give them a little bit more definition as well. And then we are going to do the trees in solid 25% opacity. Okay. Hang on, I got a plan for them. we go, help him stand out a bit more. And ideally, in a perfect world. Okay, and I forgot to do the shading here. That's a bit of a problem. Okay, and then we do a bit of shading here. Let's give him a dark. Should I? I could just do the whole thing. He is framed quite well by everything else. So maybe I should just give him some elaborate shading to make him a little bit more strongly colored. And then I don't have to worry about giving him actual colors in the clothing. There you go, it's like that. Socrates, if he was born in 25,000 BCE. What kind of animal is that? A dead one. I don't know, man. Just don't look at it. Don't look at it too hard. Don't question it too hard. I'm just glad you saw it as an animal. Yippee, number 63. We're not making fantastic time. We've only 3 deep. Oh, this is a fun one. This is something I can do quickly. Okay. Okay, so let's start off with... Oh, I should have the images already. Hang on. Downloads. Save me downloads. Porcini, saffron, milk caps. Ooh, it's quite a way down the line. Okay. Porcini. Are those the saffron milka? I have to look up the images again. Lactarius deliciosus. That's a very good name for it. And chanterelles. Ah, those are the chanterelles. Okay, so that's the... I didn't get them mixed up then, did I? I hope not. Yeah. Oh, identifying mushrooms. Never seen this one before. Okay, one. Don't crash. Are we okay? That's a bit strange. Oh, thank God. Okay. Save. Save. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chini, saffron, chanterelles. Okay. So this is gonna be, we're gonna knock out 4 illustrations in one go. So this is the thing. I call them illustrations, they're more like doodles, and I can simplify the process as much as I like. I should have one of these already, actually. Hang on. Ooh, where would it be? Let's not spoil too much. Oh, let me go into the document. Hang on. Oh. 28 and 29. Okay. Right, that's a parasol. Yeah, okay, that's a parasol. There we go. Pochini! Okay, perfect. Okay. And then we just have to... Can you see on the image that someone's taken a bite out of this already, by the way? I thought that was very funny. And then we just have to... A little bit rough. I don't do this very often in my stuff. I usually try to draw them from scratch, but specifically for mushrooms, I don't have much confidence in replicating them exactly. And it would be easier for me as well to just take a PNG of them instead. A very important question. Do you like pancakes or waffles more? Oh, that is a very good question. Oh, I've had pancakes in my life a lot more than waffles, simply because we don't really have waffles here. Like, you're not really gonna find a waffle... Like, the average home does not have a waffle maker, you know? So I guess... pancakes? It depends on the pancakes as well, because the pancakes we typically like make here are more like crepes and not like your like American flapjack kind of stuff. I've had both and I do really like the flapjacks, especially with like bacon and syrup. It's a very like typical way. Apparently, I know you can also make it with like fried chicken apparently as well. No, that's the waffles. Waffles and fried chicken. That is something I really want to try. I think I'm going to have to go with pancakes. Out of loyalty, you must understand. I can't just completely abandon my culture of the kind of pancakes I eat. Let's see. Okay. Doing a scrappy little outline. It usually isn't such a bad idea to do this. Doesn't have to be super neat because you get the general image anyways. Okay. I did it wrong. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. My finger slipped. That is not a Photoshop issue, that was a me issue. And we quickly do it again. There we go. Okay, and then we just quickly clean it up a bit. It's a bit difficult because the yellow kind of blends in a little too well with the background. Okay. Pancakes with abs. The gills freak me out. Yeah. I grew up really not like eating many mushrooms. Like I didn't really like them. Other family members in the house didn't like them. So like we never had mushrooms when I was growing up. And then as soon as I started living on my own, I started like experimenting with mushrooms. And now I eat them like once a week. I toss them into whatever it is I'm cooking that week. Like I'll make a stew or something and I'll hoy them in. We get enoki mushrooms at the local grocery store now. So I get to make that, I get to make like a proper Japanese curry and throw in some enoki mushrooms, and then I feel like I'm making something really authentic. It's a little silly, but it's fun. Okay, let's shrink those down to about the same size. Lift those up over there. And then we're going to draw our cave person for the panel. And we're just going to have some... we're back to 30% smoothing. That's fine. It's not frustrating at all. Thank you, Photoshop. Okay. Let's do little caveman. You see, I think waffles are better due to A, everything not sliding to the side when you add fruit or other toppings, and B, you can have them both for breakfast and dessert, and finally C, you can have them both crispy and soft. See, I didn't know that. I thought you just had the one kind. Okay, so got him in a bush. He's got a basket on his back. See, that's the other thing, is that we also don't have much evidence for Tala's group, because this is in theory quite a lot earlier than the little caveman. Again, not canon, just for the purposes of the video, right? This is kind of closer to, again, like we've chopped the time in half. This is much more closer to the glacial maximum. We're sitting at like maybe more 20k in the past. And for that reason, they can have basketry. That's something that they have access to. But the topic of weaving and whether or not we had basketry at that point in history of, 45,000 years ago is much more vague and up for debate. We only know that we have something like weaving as far back as we do because we've found again, I'm using the royal we, I didn't do this, nothing to do with this, is because the professionals have found imprints of weaving textures on clay and rock and like mud that someone like put either a basket down or like fell into wearing something woven, and you have this beautiful weaving pattern that's just been left as an imprint on clay, essentially. And it's fascinating. It's beautiful. And what a insane thing of luck, to have that be how we know that's such a huge amount of information that came from an accident, essentially, or just like a small moment in someone's day, like thousands and thousands of years ago. It's really cool. A real like captured in time, snapshot in time moment, It's like the footprints of the dinosaurs that you find trapped in clay as well. It's a very good metaphor for history, time, people, the impermanence of it all. Okay, let's put it all here, and then we do the quick final. Okay, maybe I do need a smoother for this one. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Could always use an animal skin sack instead. Exactly, yeah. They could easily have been wrapped up in like bindle type things, or sort of sewn roughly together. But that's another issue because the time as well, we don't have awls from that period. So, you know, awls were used to make punctures in, maybe there is, I don't know. I haven't looked at, the thing is that once I haven't looked at something in like a couple months to a year, I have to kind of assume it's out of date. So this is potentially old information. But as far as I know from that time period, 45k years ago, they didn't have awls. We don't have any evidence of awls, you know, any kind of bone tools that were used in order to puncture holes in the leather or the hides or anything like that. So we don't know if they could stitch up anything like that, right? Which would then in turn limit them in what they could use, you know, to create material-wise, right? So, you know, if you don't have stitching, your clothing has to look different. Your the way you move, the way you you know, carry your belongings, how much you can carry, that's limited as well. It's very fascinating, very interesting. I have it so that Talo still, like, they all still use sinew, they still use knots. We have evidence of like bows and arrows that were made using those materials. So they had access to that, right? But not alls. Or at least I don't know, maybe it's like on the cusp of being found right as they are around. It's so easy to get the desire to kind of fudge the numbers a little bit, where it's like, oh, well, yeah, 40 is like 45, but no, it isn't. It's a 5,000 year difference. That is all of our modern human history condensed into a very long time, 5,000 years. Oh, gourds. Gourds are absolutely a potential way. In fact, there's ways that you can carry water in Africa specifically through, you know, these types of gourds and ostrich eggs as well. And that's how they used to carry water. They used to even create stores of water for themselves. You know, nomads traveling throughout the drier parts of Africa, they would store water in ostrich eggs and then bury the eggs, and then they would be able to come back and retrieve the water as needed when they were back in the area again, which is fascinating. Very, very cool. But we do not have ostrich eggs or gourds in Europe, like Northern Europe, which is where the area-wise kind of where the environment is designed around, right? So again, that's another. The story is just me trying desperately to piece together how things would have worked back then based on very little information. But by God, am I going to do it? I'm having fun. I can imagine a splintered bone making a useful. That is a good point, but that's the thing. The alls we have were made of bone. So were they just, you know, because bones are biodegradable, is it just that we haven't found any from that time period? Maybe they were extremely useful. We certainly haven't found any clothes from that time period because that's all rotted away. So it's, like, it's easy to imagine, it really is, but like at the same time, there's no evidence for it. My life is a nightmare. I went into this project when I was so young and so naive, and I was like, this is easy, this will be fine, this will be fun. I don't have to do a ton of research into it. It's gonna be just like a little bit of a fun thought exercise to see like how what was life like back then. And then I am in hell. I'm in the trenches. World building hell has nothing on me. I kid. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. But by God, it shouldn't be dark. What did I make as clothing? It was 25 on the whole outfit, and then another 25 on the coat. The poncho. It's not a poncho. Is it a poncho? I don't know what qualifies a poncho as a poncho. I'm fine. Can you? I do lose my mind on these streams a little bit. I recognize that as an issue with me more than anything. I can finish my graphic novel in 2 years. 9 years later, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Oh, if I'd told myself the week that I like started working on this, on Immortal and everything, if I told myself that I would still not even have the first issue of the comic out in 2020, the big year of 2026, I would have given up on the spot. I would not have made it this far. But that's me. I'm always kind of like that. It's like stuff's got to be done now, and it's got to be done immediately, but also I can't get it done now because there's other stuff to do in front of it, so I've got to get that done now, and then it's a very stressful way to live. I'm taking it a little bit slower as I get older. That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. I am not, but I'm trying. Ponchos can be seen in Inca culture, absolutely. There were other similar clothings elsewhere. I fully believe. Ponchos are South American traditional, I think. There you go. So I shouldn't call it a poncho then. I should call it a little cloak. Okay, so this is going to be image 63. We duplicate that. That is now 64, and we get to show off the... Hang on, where is the image description? The porcini, which is our prize, and then we go duplicate that again. We have 65. That's going to be the saffron milk cap. If I'm remembering correctly, I do believe I am. I have to Google this again. No, I am right. Okay. Saffron milk cap, and then we duplicate again. That is now 66, and that is the chanterelle. Oh, and then okay, this is a bit cheaty. I am sorry. Let's go back down to that, duplicate that, and we just swap out the porcini for the chanterelle. Fun fact, I wrote in Tala's character description way ago that she once misidentified a one mushroom as a different type of mushroom, got terribly sick for several days, refused to admit that it was her at fault, and has avoided mushrooms ever since. Or is at least extremely wary of them. And I think that's a fun little fact to bring up occasionally. It's the second time I've talked about it now. There we go. And then that's the funny number. Look at that. Wow. And now we're on to 6-8. Have we considered drawing smiley? Oh my god, that's an amazing idea. Oh, that's an amazing idea. No. Okay, I'm just gonna do it for these ones. That's such a fun idea. Rocky now has a friend. You can't see that. Fantastic. Beautiful. Flawless. Unbelievable. And look at that! We're so close to 10. Okay. Oh, this is the one I was dreading. Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's a big one. We got this. I'm gonna speed through the rough for this one. So, for this, we need to draw an entire grove of hazel trees. Let me quickly Google hazel trees. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Because when I initially made this, I actually mixed up hazels and chestnuts. I forgot that chestnuts came in like the spikiest shells you've ever seen. And I only know this because last week when I went on my trip and I wasn't here for a week for the stream, I do apologize for that. I ran into some chestnut trees and I was like, oh my god, what an amazing research opportunity. Let me pick some chestnuts. And they are so spiky. They are so sore. But by god, I got a bag of them. I'm gonna try and roast them at some point. I need to double check that they are edible though. Shroomy the mushroom. I think you can eat those. Oh, bye, Wiffle. Thank you very much for sticking around. Okay. Hazelnuts on tree? Question mark? Okay, I'm learning. Okay, these are really easy to pick. Okay, thank god. That's the thing. After all the research I did, I didn't know that... we also talk about chestnuts in the video. So, like, after all that time, I didn't remember that chestnuts come in these, like, spiky casings. Chestnuts roasted by the open fire. Exactly. Where is Vincent? He should know. He almost definitely did know and just assumed that I would also know, and I did not. I just... It's okay though. It's okay. Hazelnut, and then let me... Yeah, these are really nice looking trees as well. It depends on how old growth you want, because old growth they start looking a bit mystical. Okay, let's go. Number 68. Hang on, let me... Dun 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 dun. Oh, hi, Vincent! I don't even see you there. Hi! Hope you're enjoying my slow and gradual descent into insanity. Okay, so we're gonna split this in half and frame it like this. We've got uno percent with a basket on their back, and we have duo percent with another basket on their back. And then this is where it gets complicated because you also want to have a couple kids there and older people because this is a very big group of people who are coming in to make this a community event. And unfortunately, when we talk about community events, we have to draw the community. That's a lot of people. Okay, so we've got... First time around, I drew a kid chasing after another one just to be like, oh, cute, they're like playing, oh, and now I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to draw another body. I don't want to draw people doing actions. Okay. Okay. And we've got another one here, and we've got another one here. The kids are gonna look a little funky, but that's okay. The kids are not alright. Okay. I don't really like how he's posing. He's a little bit too forward leaning. Have him chase after this kid like a like a what's the word? Like a Terminator? Okay, there we go. Little old ladies on the side, big strong adults in the center, 2 kids running off over there. Little kid over here just to balance out the images, looking up over there. There we go. Okay. And we've got some bushes to frame everything out. We've got the first tree here. The tree is kind of like that, and then we just got the tree out like that. And then we go there, and then it's a naturally forming grove, so they wouldn't really be all lined up like that. We've got another one over here, there. Bunch of fallen leaves everywhere because it's the middle of autumn. And that's too close. We're gonna put that over here. Yeah, here, and then we've got bushes and stuff in the middle because again it is naturally forming. You don't really get clearings that just kind of come up out of nowhere like this. Can you tell I've done this before? I'm doing this quickly. If I have to think about this any longer, I'm gonna go insane. Okay, something in the foreground there. That's quite nice looking actually. And then we're gonna be just cleaning that up over there. And we've got our groves coming up here. There we go. Okay, nice. There we are. There we are. There we are. There we go. Yeah, that's bearable. And then we we can just narrow it, thicken it out at the very back there, so it all looks like it's. And then I can have the tree like that, and then we have more bushes in the back, so it at least looks a little bit more open over there. And then that's where the trees are. 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 And we are done with the rough. Haha! Now I gotta do the hard part. This was the actually this was the image I was on when it all went to it went to the S words. Looks like Hannah's losing it. I always lose it. But usually I only lose it in the final hour. This is a little early for me. Okay, so we're gonna give chap here nice long flowing locks and normal looking shoulders. He's wearing, thank God for animal skin coats, because then I can just kind of give the vague approximation of a human body. And then we have, okay, don't do that. And we have that. Okay, now I need to slow down a little bit. I don't wanna bring this anxious energy into this image. Okay, let's give a little bit of texturing here. That's way too big of a head. Go back to being tiny. Okay. Okay, nice. No one's executing anyone. What are we talking about? Hey. Okay. And we've got... let's make him Gampaw and not Gam Gam. Okay, and... Peasant number 3. Which is a bit rude to say, so I will not say it again. Oh, hi. Hi, weird shrimp number 9755. Good luck with your exam. R.I.P. Too bad, so sad. Greatest tragedy of all time. L plus ratio. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. I've had to listen. Well, I guess I haven't had to, but I've heard a lot of people say, you know, not I told you so, but like, hey, you could have prevented this. And they are right. They are very right. I've been deeply humbled by this experience. Ah. Can I say Doggerland is by far my favorite landmass? Me too. It's so cool. We have footprints saved there as well. It's amazing. English is all wrong because it's full of sounds impossible to transpone with Latin alphabet. Transpone, sorry. Fair enough, yeah. C'est petit. Okay, and then we've got Little Old Lady 1 and 2. Elements on the center piece here. Just a completely different design, just a completely different looking basket. Okay. And we've got a little kid. There we go. Okay, and then we've got the kids here. Okay. Deeper fold in the arm. flowing clothes so you can see the action better. Not putting any detail into that foot. You cannot make me. I simply will not do it. Let's make it so you can at least see the angle of it though. Okay, that's bearable. Oh, no, it isn't. Yeah. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to spend more time on this. I don't want to. Can't make me. I will complain about it the whole way, but by God, I will make this look at least a little decent. There we go. Hang on. What if I just... Oh god. Never mind. It's just gonna look bad. Don't worry about it. Just don't look at him. Me forcing myself to do a complicated pose very, very quickly, and then me getting annoyed when I can't do it. Ah, it's okay. See, this one's easier. Thanks, Phoenix. Please don't worry. I'm okay. It's all good. At least you drew the foot, unlike friend of the pod, Rob Liefeld. Liefeld? Is that who I think it is? I'm still prettier though. Ah, there it is. There it is. There's the backhanded compliment. Okay, so we're just gonna give him a little bit of grass there. And we're putting in the foliage. And we have space for the trees. The trees start out like this. Yeah, it kind of sucks. These were going to be the parts of the video that I was really going to, you know, try and give a lot to and make it all pretty. I'd already done the rough drafts for all of them as well, so it is a bit of a shame that... Because that's the thing, it's like, hey, if I lose the completed image but I still have the rough draft, that's fine, because at least I still have something to work off of. It's starting from scratch that really just hurts my brain, because I have memories of what it used to look like and I know what I want it to look like, but now I have to start from scratch, and just because now it only exists in my head, it's perfect, and trying to replicate it into something else just makes it feel like I'm doing a less good job than I did the first time, which often isn't even the case, but it does just feel like that, because something that doesn't exist can always be perfect. It's the things that exist that have to bear the burden of being perfect. And that's your daily philosophy lesson, which is definitely not just something you could have read off of, like, a basic website. What are those, like, quotes of the day websites? Ah, well. Not the first person to have said it, and I will not be the last. No, thanks, TC. A job done is better than a job undone. But my job was undone. Oh, bye, Rosemary. Thank you very much for sticking around. Best of luck on your next endeavor. That's the thing I should start saying. Oh, never mind. Gonna get all self-conscious again. Okay, so we've got they're fallen leaves, but they're also fallen nuts. Hazelnuts. Have you seen the movie Quest for Fire? No, I haven't. Is it any good? Like a phoenix. Sorry about that. Sorry, I've been quiet for a minute. Okay. Self-conscious, yeah, you should be self-aware. I saw past the cave. I'm alive. Oh god. Me at 3 years old gaining sentience. Okay. Perfect. Trees. So many trees. Uh-huh. Oh, hi, Robert. The comic is coming along slowly, but it is coming along. There is a short comic up on the Patreon. You are very free to go and look at it. You can either just get it on its own through the store, or you can join any tier whatsoever and you can read it through there. That is my official plug, one and only plug that I do for every stream. I'm hoping to get at least some small stuff out soon. My schedule recently got a little bit knocked to the side. Hopefully I can sort of pull myself together and get some extra stuff out soon. I don't know, if you've heard me talking tonight, I'm sure you can tell I'm a little bit what's the word? Impatient to start getting things going. So I am trying, I am seeing, we shall see. It is the year of Immortal. That was a really dumb thing to say. I basically might as well have just said, "Hey, stuff is coming. The comic's gonna be out soon." It's not. I'm trying. Don't know what's happening. Don't know when anything's coming out. Do not assume that is like, oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I know exactly what's going to happen in the next while. I don't, but I'm working on it. I want it to be done as much as everyone else. As much as the most passionate person in the world wants this comic to be done, I'm right there with them. I might be the most passionate. It's coming. One day. Hopefully before I die. Anyway. You should be all knowing. I'm trying, I'm almost there. I just need to figure out how they heat up their water first. Okay. Will you self-hosted or use Comic Fury? The plan at the moment is to try and get some of it out at a later... So, the plan is to host it through just the Patreon itself, which is where you will be able to access like early content, issues, pages as soon as they come out. The issues themselves are going to be pretty damn long. Issue 1 at the current moment in time that I have it is slated to be about 42 pages long, not including the cover, which is a little long. So I'm going to sort of probably be releasing them in batches of pages. And then once something is properly, like once the first issue is properly finished, then I'll probably slowly start releasing them on a delayed regular schedule on something like Webtoons. I'm not sure about hosting it on my own website or anything like that. I'm not sure what the benefits or drawbacks of that would be. I know a lot of people do it, but I haven't really looked into it that much, right? It would be very cool to see if that's an option, and if so, if it's one that would be, you know, if people would like prefer it to be there instead of something like Webtoons, like maybe like if the hosting would be better, the readability would be better. I'm not sure. I shall see. Oh, issue as in comic, not as in problem. Yeah. Yeah. The comic issue. Yeah, Phoenix is doing some fantastic work on the Discord and everything as well. Highly recommend checking that out as well. I'm in awe of the OCs and the alternate universe, the AUs and the alternate universes. I think it's very cool that exists at all, especially with like, you know, you have so little to work on. Work off of is what I meant to say. Oh, I'm starting to make less and less sense as the evening goes on, gang. I don't know what's gonna happen. Uh-huh. Okay, and then we're just gonna Perfect. Okay. It's a little not as natural as I would like it to look, but I suppose since we're pointing out the fact that they're, you know, picking these specific trees, it does make sense to have them a little bit front and center. What if I just... What if I just... Doesn't look as good as I thought it would. Ah, well. Okay, so now we're done with that. Now we move on to the shading. Yippee! Wahoo! Let's go for 30 size. That's 300. Let's go for 30. Let's go for 25. And then I think... Oh, we're back to 30% smoothing. I really have to fix that. That's so frustrating. Ah, your website is peak creative freedom and minimal TOS. Ah, I see. Right, because, yeah, it probably will get tagged? Yeah. There will be some probable warnings and tags. It's stuff that I plan on putting on there myself, but it might bury it as well. Huh. Yeah, content warnings. Okay, I'm seeing it. Phoenix, I read that. I hear you. Lactose tolerant Tala, my beloved. Patreon screwed up a couple of comics I followed. Really? Could you tell me how? Like, was it a organization issue, or like did it compress them too much? That's very good to know. If it did screw them up. Oh, but really though, I hope we can see the first issue of Mortal soon. Me too. Me too. I think I'll, the soft plan is to dedicate a lot more time to it once this video is out. That's the soft plan. That's kind of always been my plan. Every time I make a video, it's like, okay, after this one I'll focus. Okay, after this one I'll focus. And then it's a bit silly, but I think I'll really put my all into it. I've never felt this ready to make it, if that makes sense. Like a big thing that's kind of been stopping me is how limited I've felt for the last few years just in terms of writing and artistic ability. I wanted to be good enough to make something that was worth waiting for. And unfortunately, the longer that we've waited, the higher the expectation is, right? So I'm kind of... I don't want to work myself into this, like, huge block on making it at all because, like, oh, now it has to be so good because it's been so long since I've, like, announced that I was working on it and everything. So it has to be, like, fantastic. I don't want it to be that, but I also want to be in a place where I can give it quite literally my best possible effort. Because I do see this as something that deserves my best possible effort and my best possible skill set, level of skill. When that doesn't quite make sense grammatically, does it? But it's something that I've been very, like, worried about for a very long time, right? Where it's like, okay, but is my artistic ability enough? Yeah, but is it enough? And also, is the writing enough? Did I write a story that's worth waiting this long for? And I'm only really now, in the last couple of weeks even, kind of sat down and written out real concepts and real plans and real scripts that I am so confident in. More confident than I've ever, because like I've written many versions of the story. It's a good thing I'm only one person, because this would be counted as development hell, I feel. But it is yeah, I don't know. I'm at a place where I feel very confident about it, and I kind of want to push that feeling and push that confidence that I've kind of sort of fallen into, and really make something out of it. So I'm optimistic. I'm working on it. Please don't take this as a sign that like, hey, everything's gonna be done within the next couple of months or anything like that. It all depends on, unfortunately, a lot of factors, and that are mostly outside of my control. It depends on yeah, just a lot of different things, and a lot of things that are in my control. So I'll try and control what's in my control, and then I will operate around the things I can't, and that's all I can ever really do. It's all any of us can ever really do. So there we go. I should be playing the Undertale music for this. Oddly serious moment in the stream. Is it odd? I feel like I've done this already. It's like, guys, it's serious time now. We're gonna have a serious talk about this. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I feel guilty talking about this stuff as well, because you guys are very kind, and you're always very kind when I bring up stuff like this that I'm concerned about. But it is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll always be so grateful for even getting this far into anything, and having started YouTube in the first place, and like make a bunch of silly videos that people actually watched, which still blows my mind. Like I said, I can't actually physically look at the map video anymore, so the fact that other people do and like find it enjoyable and still think it's worth something is just so shocking every time I think about it. I'm gonna stop talking now. It's too emotional. Guys, it's not me. It's the lung infection. Taking over my brain like a symbiote. Nah. Oh, you guys are nice. Guys, stop though. You're too nice, you're too nice. You're an otaku, and you're an otaku. Everyone's an otaku. Not only that, but you're also a nice fluffy white cat. Oh, oh. Yeah. I am that. Embrace it. Embrace the furry. Uh-huh. Let's see. We're all gonna draw you as a cat now. no! Oh no! Cat fan? That would be the worst! That would suck! Oh no! It's my sarcasm of okay, hang on. Let me cut this out. I fear I've made it a bit too dark on the sides here. On the center here. Perfect. And then let's just lighten that a little bit. There we go, much nicer. Okay. And we go on to the other funny number. 68.5. I'm drawing you as a frog because your name sounds like frog in Spanish. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. Hey, look at that. We reached 2 hours into the stream. How nice. Okay, let's push a little bit more and work on this one. We can still make 10. I believe in us. I think we can do it. Let's do a quick rough draft. Again, stop it. Smoother. Okay, so that's like that. And then we have a single tree. Okay. So we're gonna have a figure in the tree. They're going to be shaking the branches. Okay, that makes sense. Body. That's body. That's human body. And then, someone pulling a branch down as well. Like that. Leaning a bit further back. Okay, that makes sense as well. Thank you, scraggly, rough drafts of people. And then someone with their entire body there. And then we want at least 1 or 2 more with their baskets sitting down to pick them off the ground. And then we should have a bunch of leaf litter and nuts all over the ground. Hazelnuts. Ah! Are the trees small or the person giant? The trees are relatively small. They're, the reason they're being illustrated here is because they are one of the easier trees to access in terms of like harvesting a ton for the autumn to then preserve over the year. They are, it's hard to get a size estimate, but a lot of them seem quite short. Even the old growth trees seem to not grow super tall. It's a bit tricky to tell though. I'm basically going off of like
scale in terms of like the size of the leaves and the grass around them. I wonder if I can find like size scales. That would be fun. Yeah, that gave me very little. The problem is that like with a lot of this stuff, I haven't really seen any of them in real life. Like the chestnut tree was a big deal for me because I'd never seen a chestnut tree in real life. Like I clearly have at some point because it was a location I've been to before, but it never like twigged. I'd never consciously looked at a hazelnut tree. I don't think we have hazelnut trees out here. I've never consciously looked at one and gone like, okay, that's the size, that's the scale, that's, you know, the shape of that's what the bark looks like up close. I'm going off of a lot of like internet images, and the problem with farming specifically is that you're gonna find a lot of young trees, not old trees. Okay, this one looks quite big, but it's an American hazelnut, not a European hazelnut. And that, again, that's a pretty big difference. A lot of the time, if I'm looking at, like I'm trying to do some research on a very generic tree, like something like the spruce tree, right? There are North American versions of those species. Well, there are North American species of those trees that are different because obviously they are. And that's also something to work around, but that's okay. You usually get around that just by specifying the species of tree you're trying to look for. Yeah, they do seem a lot of... Yeah, I don't know if any of you are actually looking up pictures of them along with me, but I highly doubt you are. It seems about right. In fact, this seems like a pretty old hazelnut tree. We're going for something more old growth, because they wouldn't be obviously like farming their own, and this would be a grove that naturally formed, which means they would have many years to spread. South Africa has chestnut trees. I planted them because I love introducing invasive species. Yeah, we've got if you go inland, there's a very specific part of of KwaZulu-Natal specifically, the province that I live in, that have a lot of like British countryside, and all of the plants are invasive. We've got like blackberries. We've got I think they're called paper trees. They're not called paper trees. Not birch trees very often. Willow trees, that's another one. I forget what they're called, but they're definitely not native. So we have a lot of European species that have been brought in because historically KwaZulu-Natal had a very big British population at one point in time. Like there was a whole thing with like immigration and stuff. Like 150 years ago. So you have a lot of like very homesick British families that brought all this stuff over and tried to make everything look like home did. And so you have like a real like British almost looking part of South Africa, which is a very interesting thing. It was great. I went there last week. It was -1 degrees on the first night we were there, and it was degrees Celsius, and it was so beautiful and so amazing, and that's where I got the infection. that's where I got sick. It's great. That sounds like... I'm gonna say Canterbury because I don't like how you censored it. I'm a bit concerned about that. That sounds like Canterbury and NZ hate it here. Yeah. Oh, you got lucky. I wanted cold next week. Yeah, that's the thing. It's beautiful when you go out and went to the mountains. I actually I want to talk about that trip. Actually, it was very, very, very fun. We went to the South African Rosetta Stone. And basically it's a place called
We went to a nature reserve. The nature reserve is called Camberg Nature Reserve. It is a site that, and on the nature reserve, there is a site that is called the South African Rosetta Stone, right? And it's basically called that because there are a series of sand paintings that were found on the cliff face there that helped Europeans understand a lot of the visual symbology and significance of a lot of other sand art in the entire area, right? So it was the code that cracked their understanding of, you know, the sand paintings, the koi sand paintings as well, which is very, very, very cool. And they're about 2,000 to 200 years old. We can't really estimate a time. And it was really cool. It was a 8-hour hike. No, it wasn't. It was an 8-kilometer hike, not an 8-hour hike. It felt like it took 8 hours, but it was great. I'm very unfit, and it almost killed me. But yeah, you hike up to the top of this. I don't know if you'd call it a mountain. You're already in the mountains, so it's a little bit up more into the mountains. But it's this lovely 4 kilometers up, and there's a guide there. He goes by well, the one that we met there was called. I shall leave that for a later video, but. He gave me permission to say, but yeah, no. Anyway, I took some videos. It might be a video later on. Unfortunately, you know, those videos where I look at like sand painting. I've only ever done one, and they don't do super well. But like, I still think it's worth doing because it's an amazing place. I went there when I was in high school, and it was fantastic. And it was so cool to go again and listen to the explanation with from the guide and like the history of it again. Very, 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 very cool. Please don't dox people. He gave me permission, but yeah, I should say it in the I shouldn't just name drop people. yeah. Yeah, I gotta look into the ethics of this before I start saying things. Naturally, the infection begins in the British part of it, say 28 days later. Did you die? I almost died. My lungs practically gave out as we were reaching the top, and when we got back, they were still really like sore and like tight feeling, and so I was like, this is fine. And then on Tuesday, I went to the doctor, and I said, hey, this is probably really dumb. Help. Is this like I'm really unfit and I strained something? And then, she tested my breathing, and she was like, hey, so just take these, just 5-day course of antibiotics and all this other stuff. I have an asthma pump now. Very fun to talk about. It's a very silly reason to get sick and also need medicine. If anything, it just means I need to walk more once I'm better, so, you know, it's my motivation. Tuesday, innit? Yeah. She said Jerry's whole name on stream. How hot does it get over there in summer? It reaches 35 average degrees Celsius, but the humidity is what kills you, because that will go up into the 80% margin and just kind of stay there forever. I'm not kidding. This cold front that we're now having this week, we're sitting at, like, it's 17 degrees now, and that is just perfect. That's beautiful. That's all I need. I told everyone where Jerry lived. I did it because Jerry lives with me. Oh, please don't talk. Yeah. 17 degrees is a great temperature. It is, isn't it? Okay, now give my cold front. I will let you have the cold front when I'm done using it. Unfortunately, I will only be done using it by the end of next year's summer. Okay, let me get back to this. Actually, let me... That's fun. And then we have our figure here, hunched over, arm full of hazelnuts.
Picking more from the ground. The basket is over. That's a good place for it. We'll put it over here. It gets cold in South Africa sometimes. Sometimes. It's very nice when it does, but it's actually our winters have been getting, like specifically here, our winters have been getting a little bit cooler. Like a little bit colder than usual. We've been getting some unseasonably cold early winters and late summers in the past couple, I want to say decade, in the last decade. But there's also a higher risk of flooding, so, you know, you take the good with the bad. If something goes catastrophically wrong and I disappear forever, the odds are is that my flat got flooded and I lost everything, so yippee! It's rather strange how hot South Africa is given how far from the equator it is. You're not wrong. It is I think the rules are slightly different in the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere. So yeah, the environment here is subtropical, but then there's also, if you move inland, it gets quite cold. You get, the Drakensberg gets snow every winter. The Lesotho, which is a country within South Africa, like within the borders of South Africa, it's like its own country, but it's like completely within our country, this country. That is like known for being very, very cold. It's actually very fascinating. There's beautiful like textile industry there. Like I believe a lot of their economy is around making jeans, specifically for Americans, and I only know that because of the tariff stuff last year. But yeah, no, they are, like, it's very cold there, so very like long history of like very fascinating textiles, but it's because it's so damn cold up there that, you know, they have to make a lot of like blankets and stuff to keep warm. It's very, very fascinating, very cool. Our Western Cape as well is quite cold. They get very dry, freezing, windy winters, and then very hot, wet summers, which is certainly two adjectives that go together. South Africa is a little bit of everything. You also, like, if you get into like the proper like center of the country, it's just dust and dirt and red red sand. You get like the Karoo is what it's called, and it is just a desert. So there's a lot of range. There's a lot of range across the country. Which is why I always kind of feel bad for not knowing as much about other African countries, because I feel like they have that exact same range. Not just in environment, but in people and places and everything. So it's I'll probably very rarely speak on like anything else other than South Africa. It's like, hey, it's like everywhere is like super different. Crazy. The northeast of Brazil is actually very similar to South Africa in terms of weather. It's sick. I'm not surprised, but that's sick. I feel like all of South Africa should be concerned about that weather change. Yeah. I'm certainly concerned. In a state surrounded by lakes. Oh no, flooding, the horror. Back up your data. I'm getting there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. That's a cool name, Drakensberg. No, you spelled that perfectly. Yeah, no, that's exactly how you spell it. Congrats. Lesotho is South Africa's tumor. Oh. I see the slash J. I know you're joking, but whew. benign tumor. Buy a pen drive. I'm getting the. I want this to not happen as much as you don't want this to not happen. As much as you want this to never happen again. I know. I'm dumb, but I'm learning and I'm working on it. Apparently the El Nino shift could cause it to become too cold in Britain for crops to grow, hypothetically. Hank Green talked about it in a video. Too cold in Britain for crops to grow. That's fascinating. Do you think, like, all crops or just the ones that are traditionally grown in Britain? I don't know, I haven't seen the Hank Green video. I should watch that. Does it actually mean Dragon Mountain, or is Dutch/Afrikaans fooling me by looking close to German but actually meaning something different? I've actually never thought about that. I always kind of assumed it was just Dragon Mountain. Drakensberg meaning... Yeah, no. Dragon Mountains. Exactly right. Oh, it's so beautiful. If I ever get to retire somewhere in South Africa, because I don't know if I want to stay here long enough to retire, but if I ever do, I want it to be in the Drakensberg. It's such a beautiful place. If you ignore all the invasive plants. Retire. I know. The odds of it ever happening. On my salary. No. I too have dreams of running away into the woods. Going off the grid completely. I couldn't do it though. I love my internet too much. So you get Dragon Mountain and all we get is Snow Mountain. Retire in this economy? I know. See, in my dreams, the economy's better when I'm old. Which, you know, historically hasn't been the case for many people in the last couple decades. Okay. Okay. Let's have our baskets. Ah. Yeah, that's about the right size. And then we have let's see. No shade, but I wouldn't want to go retire on the savannah or in the mountain that has a dragon on it. Just wait until you hear about Giant's Castle. A good economy in this economy. For real, I wouldn't like my subtropic forest too much. Fair enough, eh? I mean, listen, if you enjoy where you are, or, you know, the places that you enjoy, then enjoy the places you enjoy. I would much rather take -1 degree weather for the rest of my life than ever have to sit through an 80% humidity, 35-degree day ever again for the rest of my life. We have an air conditioner. I can't use it. I'm not allowed to use it. It's too expensive to run. One day.
One day I will either be able to run the air conditioner forever, or I will move to a place where I will not need it. Those are the two goals, okay? One of them is gonna work out. Also, they're not great for the environment, so that's also a fact. Ah, well. Oh, hi, Gold Source. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, I'm fully insane by this point in the stream. But I'm a very calm insane as opposed to previous... the last hour or so. 30 minutes left till 3-hour stream. Yeah, there you go. I knew I could make it. And you know what? You knew I could make it. And that's the most important thing. If you move to where I live, you can experience both -1 and 35 degrees. No, thank you, actually. I would like not to. The magnetic attraction to a cabin in the woods. What do you mean air conditioner not good for the environment? It's a device that pushes air from point A to point B. Yes, but it uses a lot of electricity. And then the electricity in South Africa is powered primarily through coal, which means no matter what happens, I'm contributing to the problem because I use electricity. Basically, I'm using it right now. Therefore, I'm not going to the good place. Is what I have come to understand. I don't know. It's always the thing people, governments, say to turn off first whenever there's any issue with electricity or the current running of operations. I feel like you might like Central Otago / Mackenzie County. Okay. Otago? Is that in the US or Canada? I'm sorry. My geography is poor. It's very, very bad. I've experienced 40 degrees weather where I live. Ooh. I've had maybe a couple days in my life where we've reached 40 degrees, and every time it's a major deal. You have like, I think the last time I actually remember it being 40 degrees was, I was still in high school, and we were supposed to have sports that day, and obviously it got cancelled, because what the hell were you gonna do in 40 degree weather? It's not super bad down here. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it does get damn hot with the humidity. Just use hydroelectric dams like Brazil. We've got a couple windmills, but I don't think it's enough to run the whole country. Yuck, you still use coal power? I don't think you understand how bad the infrastructure in South Africa is in terms of like electricity and power generation. It's still using colonial era infrastructure for a lot of its stuff. There was really like, we had load shedding for years. They would just turn the power off. Sorry guys, the coal was, one of the excuses was, sorry guys, it rained, the coal got wet, and now we don't have electricity. That is one of the reasons. Eskom is the company that runs the electricity for most of the country. That was one of the reasons. Are people still stealing copper from the grid? I think in rural areas, yeah, but it's no, they are. Yeah. It's NZ! Oh, I'm sorry. Shit, I'm sorry. Otago, Mackenzie... Oh, country! Sorry, I thought I read county.
And then the only place I know counties is like North America. I am sorry. I'm very sorry, Loma. I didn't mean to offend. I'm very sorry. They've been using coal for how long and they still didn't make sure the coal didn't get wet when it rained. I know, right? The thing is, I don't think that's actually what happened. I don't think anyone thinks that's actually what happened. But if I say anything else, I'll be a conspiracy theorist, so I simply will not. Listen, I, like many other South Africans, which I am now identifying with for the bit right now, is... I can complain about Eskom and the electricity situation till the cows come home. It's been, I think, almost a year and a couple months since we last even had load shedding in this part of the country, but I'm still, by God, I'm still gonna complain about it. I'd like to visit South Africa at some point. I'm pretty sure Canadians are able to go visa-free. I have no clue, but I hope you are. That would be very cool. You are well. Please come. You are welcome to come. It is a great place to go. Cape Town is the classic for a tourist destination. But if you like the beach, I highly recommend Durban. Because it's the only major South African city that has a good beach. Don't come to Brazil and stay. I also want to visit South Africa at some point. Yay! I'm helping our tourism industry. They should give me a tax write-off for that. I've really slowed down in this last hour, haven't I? Ah, well. Oh no, I'm enjoying myself. Rah, rah. I'm never gonna ever be able to watch any of these streams back, am I? I just... like the delayed secondhand embarrassment. Oh, I can't believe I said that. Live in front of people. In case you were wondering how my social anxiety is going. Phoenix, you're stealing my tourists. Phoenix. I'm pretty sure the British grid infrastructure is still used there as well. I would fully believe you if you said it was. So, like I said, a lot of the infrastructure is still around from, like, the, I want to say 70s? And not much has been done to upgrade it. Dun, dun, dun. The high pony is something I tend to default to a lot, but I don't think any of them would actually have had one. It would get caught in everything. At least not a big one, you know? Sorry, my pricks are alive, but I need to eat too. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Oh, it's been one of my favorite countries since learning about Shaka Zulu and the Zulu Empire. Come to KwaZulu-Natal. Come to KwaZulu-Natal. It is the Shaka Zulu Empire location. There's a statue of him at the airport. You can come to the KwaZulu-Natal airport. Healthcare is free for foreigners in Brazil. Oh, I can't compete with that. Damn. Damn. Ah. Maybe I should go to Brazil.
Oh no. Meanwhile, Texas.
Don't worry about embarrassment, Hannah. I can't. I have to.
It's a defining character trait of mine is that I obsess over too much. Unfortunately, that does also count in these situations.
Uh-huh. There we go. Social anxiety, yeah. Why upgrade power infrastructure when you can have no coal left to fuel it by 2100? Yeah. Cringing at your past self shows improvement. I'm improving by the hour, thank God. Canadian architecture looks like we gave up halfway through trying to copy Soviet architecture. Oh my god. What a description. That's fantastic. That's not what I picture Canadian infrastructure as at all. Although maybe Canadian TV has propagandized me into thinking it looks different. Let's make this one a bit beefier. Close enough. Yeah, I don't know if I like the arm being there now. Good enough. Which is what I say before changing everything. There we go. Ah, NZ passport can get me into SA for 90 days, no visa. Nice. Come to South Africa. Are we doing Draw It Again next stream too? I'm actually hoping by next week I'll be done, actually. Once we're done with, we're still got one more to go after this one, but then after that... Actually, no, I've only got 79 total to work on? Okay. I've been using numbers like 71, so as I've been going, I've been like chopping out illustrations that are like maybe could be replaced with like other stuff. So it isn't actually that many anymore. It was at one point, but not quite now that I'm redoing them. But yeah, so I've only got 11... No, I've only got 10 to do, which I'm hoping I'll be able to knock out this weekend.
and then get started on the editing proper. Oh, that's another thing that's gonna add a bit of a time to it. My usual editor is unfortunately going to be predisposed for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to have to go back to editing things myself. What will the stream be after the next video goes live? It's to be expected that that will draw in a lot more new viewers. I hope so. I'm not entirely sure. I always put it to a vote. Go to the Patreon if you would like to vote on the next stream next week. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure because I mean it's gonna be on a bit of a broader topic. Like it's not a very visual topic, I should say. So it would be interesting. I'll try and think up something fun, but I'm not entirely sure. I haven't given it any thought so far, in case that wasn't clear. 15 minutes left. The editor knew too much and had to take them out. Yeah. They learned too much with the videos, so I had to end it. Very tragic. I know them very well. It's very funny to say that. Nah, but it's just you know, stuff happens. And it's okay. I am not out of touch. It hasn't been ages and ages and ages since I've had to edit videos. I know how to do it and remember all the steps. I say this, I edited half of the I did do a decent amount of editing for the phenotypes video, so I'm not too out of touch. Out of practice, I should say. Or am I? It's been 5 months. So it's been 5 months since the last video. I'm remembering why I was stressing about losing all that time now. So, oh no! Remember when I said I wanted to get out more than 2 videos a year? Oh, that's tragic. Oh, maybe I should just pack it in. Oh no. Realizes live on stream how long it takes to get a video out. Oh. Chill out, man, chill out. I'm fine. It's been 5 months. It's okay, I've been working on the same chapter for 8 months. It's okay. Making something good takes time. Now, I can't say if what I'm making is good. That's up for you guys to decide, but God, I hope it's good. No, I need you guys to understand that I do this every time. Every time I start on a video, I'm like, oh, I have all the time in the world. The last one came out like 2 weeks ago. I can like take it slow, take my time, it's fine. Everything's gonna be super easy now. And then I blink. And every time it takes me by surprise. Every time it's like, oh no! Who could have seen this coming? Because it's always like, oh, I have time until I don't. And by the time I realize I don't have time, I'm like, I haven't started editing yet. I haven't started the art yet, which takes so long to do. That's why, I'm fine. It's fine. I don't even care. It's fine. I just feel bad for you guys having to wait so long. Now if this was my full-time job... No. Oh. And it's a clean layer. Nice. Oh, smoothers back on again. Okay, that time, that was my fault. I'm the one who put that on. Every 60 seconds in Africa, a month passes. No, it's just every 60 seconds in my room. It's every 60 seconds within this exact room, a month passes. Oh, that feels bad, man. Oh. Okay. It's fine, I'm calm, I'm fine. The art's almost done, the editing will be done soon. I have time next week. I'm okay. We're okay. Look at me. Chat, we're okay. We're okay. When in doubt, The vicious cycle of procrastination, or is it an expectations thing? It's a little bit of both. The thing is that it's difficult to say, because honestly, Vincent does so much of the work during the writing process that I honestly can't say that it's like, oh, I put so much time into it and I want it to be as good as possible. It really is just, I go, like, it takes a lot out of me to make the videos, because it always feels like, you know, in this final stretch, this final, like, crunch time, like you're putting so much work into such a big project, and then it just feels like you're sprinting towards the finish line, and you've been running this marathon, and then you make it, and it feels amazing, and people like it, and it's a good video, and then it's such a good feeling, and then you're just like, oh, fantastic, that was exhausting, I'm gonna take a break. You don't mean for it to be a long break. Like, I don't mean for it to be a long break. I just go like, okay, listen, that was tough. Let's take like the next week slow, right? And it's like, it's not like I'm taking time. Like, I'm still, you know, working full time. I'm still doing other stuff. I'm taking a break from videos for a week. And then that week turns into 2 weeks. And it's like, okay, cool. Now it's been 2 weeks. What do we have next on like the idea list for the next video, right? And then it'll be like, okay, cool. Here's the next idea. And then we start working on that one. And Vincent does a ton of work. Vincent does an insane amount of work for these videos as well, which is a little bit, it makes me feel a bit guilty, honestly, but it's he does a very, very good job in the research portion of it. So I'll leave him to do that, and then he'll get back to me with a bunch of research, and then we will start compiling it. And, you know, we'll ask questions, look into other things. For this video specifically, it went in a couple directions before we settled on, like, this exact topic. I wanted to do, like, a list of every plant. Like, foraging, full stop. Like, it was going to be a massive video. And that's not what we're doing anymore. Thank God. Because the video would not even be done in the writing process by this point. If we had gone in that direction. So we narrowed down the scope of it, started working on this instead. And yeah, and it's a solid video in my opinion. But somehow the time slips away because it takes time to do the research, it takes time to do the compiling. It takes time for me to find the time to do all that sort of stuff in between everything else. And it just happens. Like, it really does just, like, slip away from me every single time. It's like in between living life and everything, it really does just get away from me, which is a bit sad. I in another life, I think I'd be much quicker at this. This would be, like, my main focus. But it's tough. It's all good. Yeah, it really is just, oh, but it's been 5 months and I said it wouldn't take 5 months this next time. Every plant. I was gonna sit down and I was gonna catalog everything.
every single thing. Like, not every plant in the world, but every plant within a specific region. So within, like, because Immortal takes place in, like, Northern Europe specifically, or more Central Europe, but, like, Central Northern Europe. That is such a broad statement to say. But because it's a specific area, I thought, okay, that way the information we get from this video can contribute to the world building of Immortal, and that helps me in the long run. So that was the idea that then led into this, but then it was like, okay, now the scope's getting too big, we're a little bit too into the weeds now. Haha, pun intended. Just do red mushroom and brown mushroom. You shouldn't do that. Yeah, no, it's that's also the question of like, hey, would that have been entertaining to watch as well? Like, would that have been fun for people to know? It's fun for me because I might be a little autistic, but I shouldn't say that. But yeah, it's fun for me because of the way my brain works, the way I like to catalog information for myself. I don't know if that would be fun for other people. You're barking up the wrong tree. Okay, there we go. And that is the funny number. Number 8012. Next we're on to 70, which is a very similar image. So maybe I can do a little copy paste. And that's going to be number 70, and we're saving. And then we'll take out the shading, but we'll leave the Larnot, and then we have the information there for the tree. Ah, no, that's not going to work, actually. I am going to have to do it from scratch. That's a pain. Oh, but I can keep the rough. Yes, I can. I just need to do another rough on top of it. But I still have the structure of the tree, so I'm not working from scratch again. 3 minutes remaining, yes! You should do something like the where spreadsheets? Where? I can do something like that. In fact, I am kind of technically doing something like that now. Oh, I want to talk about plants in Immortal. Since Immortal is semi-fictional, are you going to twist and bend the functionality and stance of plants, or are you going 100% realistic? I've said this about animals, I believe, as well. I'm probably going to go completely realistic. Mostly because I would feel obligated to understand enough about plants and speculative biology when it speculative evolution and biology when it comes to plants to screw around with like the real world plants. And I think the world is interesting enough that you can make real world plants interesting on their own, right? And then it's a much easier thing for me to do the research and compile everything for existing plants than it is for me to make up plants from scratch. Just in general, in the long run, like where they fit into their ecological niche, because I'm the kind of person who would want to know what kind of ecological niche my fictional plants would fit into, because I'm a psychopath. Can you tell I'm doing a lot of like that kind of work? I'm doing a lot of that kind of work now, and I'm like hating myself for it, but I'm doing it. And I think you can tell. Just like, oh god, oh, I'm doing it. I'm enjoying it, but goddamn it. It's been so long. I spent a whole weekend on it 2 weeks ago, and it was I didn't do nearly enough work. But it took the whole weekend. Time is a finite substance. And I did that instead of working on the video. Phoenix. You'll be really impressed by the amount of work I haven't done. Oh, thank you. no. I feel like Immortal might end like the movie Logan. Oh no. I haven't... Have I seen Logan? Oh no. I need to develop the biology of about 30 planets for my novel series. Oh my god, good luck. Oh my, tell me how it goes. Tell me what you do. Oh my god, good luck. That is... Oh. I would be fascinated to see the work you do for that. That is such a lofty... Not lofty, lofty's the wrong word. That's a very ambitious thing to do. Good luck. Godspeed. I believe in you. You can do anything you put mind to. Yeah, there we go, Vincent. Yeah. Hint for the video, human behavioral ecology. There we go. Oh yeah, behaviorism. I am also the kind of person who wants to know the ecological niche of my fictional plants. Yes, yes! Please, show me your work, it would be very cool. Yeah! You don't have to, but yes! Oh hey, look at that, we hit 3 hours. Oh, I'm so tired. I just fall over. Oh no, guys, it's the end of the evening. Oh, tragic. Anyway, guys. Anyway, guys. Hello? That was interesting. Okay. I'm gonna blame that on the pen. It's starting to... Did I knock it somewhere? Ever since I put in the new nib for it, it's had a little bit of an issue with, like, letting go. But it's such a tiny issue, I didn't want to complain about it on top of the other Photoshop issues. Stop doxing yourself, dude. Nah, all you saw was the other stuff I've been working on. None of it's, like, classified. Okay. If anything, it's a sneak peek. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm going, Tix. I'm going. Okay. Okay. Oh, thanks, Girly. Yeah, sorry, I'm being quite insistent on it, but I if you want to, if you remember, no problem, no stress. I'm yeah. Okay. Everybody, thank you very much for joining us. We are back to our regularly scheduled Patreon polls for tomorrow. I cannot wait to see what you vote for. I believe we are on our last chance for the part 2 of the video game stream, so do with that what you will. Otherwise, I will play it on my own, and that is a threat. Other than that, thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you very much for watching me just do my job, do work. But yeah, thank you very, very much. Thank you for voting this in as well. This has been, it's actually been very calming this week to know that I have this allotted amount of time put aside specifically to work on this part of making a video, which is very, very nice. It's like I said, it's one of the things that takes the most amount of time. It really is just like this big thing I have to kind of schedule a lot of my life around. So it's been very nice knowing that I had this. Very grateful to you guys for voting it in. I kind of put it up there as a joke, like, haha, remember when I lost everything? And then I didn't actually think it would win immediately, if at all. So yeah, thank you very, very much. It's been a fantastic Thursday on my end. I hope you guys have a very, very good Thursday, very, very good weekend. Yeah, thank you very, very much. Hope you enjoyed. Good night, and bye-bye. Bye.